As a blind person, I do not think of myself as living in the dark. Not at all. This will come up when I say that I'm doing woodworking. You use power saw? Yes, yes. People say, let me see, do you have all 10 fingers? And no, you shouldn't be doing that. You know, if you're blind, you need all your fingers. And you play the piano, you need all your fingers. Number one, to be careful. I make sure I have butterflies when I reach for the power switch. And number two, I try to keep track of just where my hands are and where the cutting edge is. I do not like to sound cocky, you know, that'll never happen to me. It is scary and I try to keep it that way, but I just love it all.
Dan?
Yeah? Oh, why don't we just use this ladder? Which way does this open? Ouch. Now, is that fan off?
Oh, no.
Have me up there when that thing's running. Okay, is it stopped? Oh, this one looks easy enough. Okay, see if it's on. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. One of the grandkids sure enough has one. There's supposed to be 5 in here. These two would have been both, now look at the difference. Both were right eyes. This would have been the older one, and this is the newer one. See how much deeper the cup is on that side? And so that shows how much tissues in the socket change over time. I know the first eye I got in 1955 was $75. The last pair, when I got these, had I not been on Medicare, I would have had to pay out $3,500 for the pair. Braille has a shorthand built into it. We call it contractions. You can see the bulk of the Braille. These volumes here and over here are my Revised Version Bible. If it weren't for those contractions, that 18-volume set would be 91 volumes. I can write faster on here than you can on a regular typewriter. There's no other blind person could read my Braille because I have my own shorthand built into it. What these drawers are the file cards, one each for my more than 2,100 piano tuning customers. And ordinarily when I go out to tune, I do 3 customers, so I stick 3 cards in my pocket. Then I have there the name, address, phone numbers, and everything I need for that day while I'm out. Yeah. I need to put these cases in the trunk. When I was at the School for the Blind at Stanton, they gave every blind boy a little exposure to piano tuning. I liked it both because I liked music and I liked things mechanical. So I took it more seriously, and now I'm ready to let it go, but it's still a source of income when I need a little bit yet. Now I want to go to the front door, which is pavement stones set in the grass going across in front of the house to a porch that sits up a couple of steps.
Well, the reason we picked Dan is because he was at the front of the Yellow Pages that he was just telling us about, that people don't usually get their piano tuners from. But we just liked him, and we've liked him for 20 years, and we always brag about him, so that's word of mouth.
Where's my tuner? Well, let's turn it on. There are these notches, all right? There's a little detent at the middle, so I know exactly what's dead center. You know, when you order, you say you want the blind version, and you get the one with those notches for us blind guys. That's good right there.
We enjoy the yearly tune-up as almost like a social event.
I don't have any other tools. There are different ways I do things. And sometimes when I've done lectures for the Piano Technicians Guild and I'm explaining how, I do this or that, I will say, now you guys that are sight dependent, you have to do this a different way.
He's good company and does bring a twinkle with him.
Somebody holler, what time is it?
What time is it?
Okay, I have about 2 minutes after 4 o'clock. Hope my fingernails are clean. Turn right on Market, go around Court Square, and go west to Dogwood. When I was at my full regular pace, it was 15 a week, and some weeks I could get in 20 a week, 4 a day. And just say 50 weeks a year, that would be 15,000 tunings in 20 years. Eldon and I were the 2 oldest of a string of 9. 2 boys couldn't have had a better place to grow up. There was all sorts of lumber and things around, and we made all kinds of things. Oh, that cart.
The cart. Okay, the cart.
A cart using 4 wrought iron wheels. We'd push it up, way up to the top of the hill, and then we and a bunch of cousins would pile on the bed and coast down, and the kids flying every which way. We used that cart like that for years. So I've been messing around with woodworking since then. I made a number of toys that the kids played with and now the grandkids play with. That sewing machine cabinet that Fern uses to this day, I finished that up in 1976. One of my more complicated pieces I made. That swing there on the tree, our girls were 2, 6, and 8 when we moved here, and I made this to fit them. Built this in 1983 when I was up on the roof putting on the shingles. Someone asked my wife, do you worry when he's up there banging nails? And she says, I don't watch. We gotta go over this way. There. What I'm making, it is a late Victorian styled washstand for that Mennonite Relief Sale here in Harrisonburg. The woodworking projects go up for auction, and those things, oh my. You don't know if it's going to go for $500 or $5,000. For as far as I'm concerned, if people want to bid that much, that's fine. If they keep in mind they are making a contribution to MCC, Mennonite Central Committee. That's a world-class relief agency. That's my favorite charity. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do next year. I don't know. I might just let this be the end. I mean, this, I'm hoping it's going to turn out to be my masterpiece.
The first year he brought a marble roller to the Mennonite Relief Sale, it went for over $3,500, and I chickened out. And this one went over $2,500, and I thought, it's now or never. I am intrigued by the incredible craftsmanship of it. There's no filler with wood putty. Some pieces are level, some are angled. The angles are just perfect. Even the reservoir box is tilted so that when you fill it up with marbles, the marbles all go to this side and then they go down. . Dan and I go back to 1960 when our family bought a small farmette half a mile from their working family farm. A phrase that I used many times with Dan was, "I see what you mean." And at first I thought, oh no, he's blind. Don't say that, Paul. And our conversations were always active. He has strong opinions, and he backs his opinions up with really solid thought.
Before Dan lost his sight, he had crossed eyes and he had crooked teeth, and so he was picked on mercilessly.
On the school bus, a little old first grader, half scared, suddenly bang, bang on my elbow. I look over and there's this bigger boy.
And he would, start verbally abusing and physically abusing, holding Dan's arm up behind his back, saying, "Cry, Uncle," and Dan would not cry, Uncle, and be crying because of tears, but never say Uncle.
He liked to call me cross-eyed jackass, on up through 5th grade. So the day came when I had my chance. Bang, he called me. I turned, cross-eyed jackass, and I said, "You're a snaggletooth, lop-eared baboon." That's what Mr. Dithers had called Dagwood, and I had saved that up for this event. At age 12, I had the detached retina in the good eye first, and then in the weaker eye a year later.
Dad, I remember how much gravity he attached to it. Got on the phone with Dr. McGuire, and he told you to lay still and come up to see him first thing in the morning.
They tried to repair the retina. It did not work.
You came home from the hospital. The instructions were that you were to lie in bed quietly without any roughhousing whatsoever. And you quickly tired of that, and we roughhoused constantly to Mom's chagrin.
32 9/16 I want. Each click is a 1/16 of an inch. Now we have 12 inches here to here. My tolerances, when I'm trying to get stuff really right, could easily be down to 2 or 3 thousandths of an inch. I can readily pick up whether it's, pine or spruce. This is maple. No, that's poplar. Yeah. Now I gotta try these new blades on this planer. Sharp and smooth. Okay, that looks right. Ouch. I got blood. I gotta go get a Band-Aid. Vern?
Should I just put a Band-Aid on and see if it'll stop bleeding? Oh, wait, wash the hand.
Maybe I better come get you down there and see if there's any blood in the machine that ought to be cleaned up. Now, it's sort of in the way for reading. It's right on the edge. Once things settle down, I'm going to take that off and revise it a bit.
And then out to the side and all the way up?
Is there room enough?
Yep.
Now that's
Yeah, that's always the hardest one.
Yeah, okay.
He came in because the way he reaches to tune pianos, he was getting some tendonitis and pain in the shoulder and down the arm, a lot of neck and upper back tension. You don't look like your head's leaning as much to the right, but you're bending forward more than you were. Does the shop work bother your shoulder?
Actually, I haven't done a lot of shop work since that started. Ooh.
Little clunk. And try to come up from the waist some. There you go. Perfect. I'm sure he has a fair amount of chronic pain, but that's not the space that he lives in. He has a good sense of humor. He talks a lot about his wife and what a great lady she is.
And I will call my ride once I get situated out here.
Okay.
They met in college, and I do remember Dad saying the thing that attracted him to Mom was her laugh. But I don't think their first date went very well.
Vern came out, walked over here, I took her arm, and just the way she started off, it just swung me around like that.
Even though I had gotten instructions from other of his previous dates, I still did that. And he had a number of previous dates.
Well,
We won't go into that.
so did you, but anyway. Well, these are steep. They weren't this steep when I was here. We were first married. We lived in Richmond. When I finished up graduate school, my first job was in Harrisonburg, Pennsylvania. And at that time I was a rehab counselor for an agency serving blind clients. I quit that and came down here and went to seminary with the aim of teaching. It turned out to be that 10-year period I was on Social Security disability. One of my friends said to me, well, you're on welfare. For him, Social Security disability was welfare. So therefore, your opinion doesn't matter. Woo! If somebody's going to say, your opinion doesn't matter because you're blind or because you're dependent on other people, that gets me where I don't want to be got. When I'm finished with the tuning, if the piano's good and the room's good and the time's there and I'm in the mood, we'll spend time with the piano. I guess I'm wallowing awash in the sound, and if my hands are halfway cooperating, I can get with it. I like it. When I have been at a piano for a while, I realize when I get up and walk away that something important has transacted. Something has been said about life. Some part of life has been lived, and it's just good. See if I can get out of here without knocking too many things over.
Here's some of you with your children, with Laura and Diane. There's one of you holding Laura. She's 6 months old, and you're holding her at the piano, helping her to play piano.
Well, evidently it worked because they all turned into musicians.
Yeah. And then here is one of Diane's second birthday. She's wearing glasses, thick glasses, and you're there with your arm around her shoulder.
I inherited Dad's eyes, which the extreme nearsightedness means that you're at risk for various other medical conditions.
Diane at age 4 had gone around the block with Laura at age 6 on their trikes, and Diane came back around the block and said, there was a boy over there calling me eyes. Little, 4-year-old Diane telling me that. And it made me very angry because obviously, this was a flashback to when it happened to me.
My parents very much did not shelter me or make me feel different in the way of my vision. I knew that there were certain signals that if I saw black spots or bright lights or something in my vision, that I was supposed to let them know right away.
She did go through a massive retinal detachment like I had when I was 12. I guess she was more like 18 or 19.
It started out just as a gray shadow. Slowly it kind of covered more of my vision until I realized what was happening. At first they said they'd have 50% chance of saving my vision in that eye. They did the laser surgery.
I think that was probably the 4 longest hours of my life.
By the time of her situation, procedures for detached retinas were such that they could save the vision. They didn't have all that back when I had my round. seats are too low.
My dad was just getting to the point where he could drive the tractor pretty well, learning to back with the tractor when he lost his vision, and that was, I think, at the time, one of his biggest disappointments.
Now we're going downhill.
My saying at 2 or 3 was, my daddy's a good blinder. He can shut the garage door. So for me, it made him special. And then when I was in high school once, I wrote one of my papers for school was, my daddy's a good blinder. And I sort of started with that anecdote and then sort of filled out on how I see that, yeah, it goes beyond he can shut the garage door.
Now, you see why I put that ramp here. I made the dolly and the ramp at the same time. All right. Oh, I need Jacob's ladder to get up in here. Great time of day.
Okay.
So what kind of performance in a drag race does this have?
I want to put it right in here.
When you look at his furniture, to see the cleanness of the saw cuts and the joints, I don't see how you do it without being able to see what you're doing.
It's really, really nice. I mean, he does it better than I can do, and everybody else known that blind guy did that. They're amazed. It really is. It's amazing.
Dan wanted me to see his shop, so he opened the basement door and we started down the steps. But it was pitch dark, and I really felt lost. Till Dan's wife yelled at him, Dan, turn a light on so the man can see.
It still looks fine to me.
Okay, it's still,
Still okay?
yeah,
Okay, you ready for some ice cream?
I guess.
$50, 615, 615, 110,
Donated by Dan and firm Bowman, and they're here, and we're wondering if you would stand. Bowman's, please.
Here we go. Yeah, $1,500 now, $1,000. 50, I'm with you now, $1,000 now, 50, 150, 1,050, all to $1,000 now, 50 now, 50, 150, and I sold her $1,000. 382, 382. Thank you both.
I thought it went great.
Been spoiled by those earlier items that went for outrageous prices, so I always hoped for more, but this was good. This was very good.
Little slight step, yeah, over the threshold. Okay. Would you like tea?
All right. At the time I lost my vision, I was, I guess, a total redneck. But soon Dad signed me up for that Library of Congress talking book program, and that opened up the world for me.
So do you think you wouldn't have come to books inevitably anyway and think about, you know, big metaphysical cosmic questions?
I could have been someone long on opinions and short on data. In other words, an ignoramus. Fern is very aware in connection with, you know, when do I quit? When do I hang up my tuning tools? You know, it's, you can't quit. You miss the people.
That's right.
To me, the nearness of God is in the mundane world that we're in if we just open our eyes. We went out to the Weavers' Cemetery. We found our place and we're on record. We paid our bill.
So we'll have a place to go.
You know, if I go before you, if you go before me, what then?
Yes, and I gave him permission to remarry if he wants to.
And I gave her permission, but she keeps saying no way, but anyhow. Okay, oh my goodness, we got to get all this stuff off. In my growing up years, I was told that 80% of blind people are and remain unemployed. Come on. But I came up through and supported a family, and so as a blind person, I have really achieved something significant. And I don't mind, you know, saying that without a sense of inappropriate bragging or boasting. I did do well, and that's good. Principal's going to come in here and regulate things. I can't believe I let you guys in here and watched all this and distracting me.